I just finished my full listen of the Lil Wayne Carter 6 series, and at its best, it stands as a reminder of what Lil Wayne does pretty well, particularly with punchlines. And at its worst, it's also a reminder of what can happen when people lean too much on something they used to do and they've gotten worse at it, and also don't display a lot of growth within their music. Let's get into it. Now, here's the HQ theory. You guys know I don't give out numbers, etc. I give you a love, like, okay, and why. So I'm giving you a few seconds so you can see the records that I love, the records that I liked, the records I thought were okay, and the records that I asked myself, why are they here? And then I will proceed to give you a full deep dive on some of these records, right? Now, I know there are some songs that are a topic of discussion right now, but I really want to start with Banned from NO. And the reason why is because I remember that Lil Wayne has done a freestyle to the record that inspires this, which is Banned from TV. And I'm using this because if you remember Banned from TV, if you haven't heard it, it's a classic freestyle from Lil Wayne in which he takes the Banned from TV beat from Noreen and Co. So go take a listen to that. And this just stands as kind of like a nice little contrast between when Wayne was at his peak and what he did well over a similar beat and making it work versus this now. And although I can tell Wayne was comfortable on Banned from NO, it just sounds like, this essentially, gives us a nice understanding of what this album is, which is your attempts to do things that you've done before, but you're not doing it as well. Okay, so Banned from NO, that's why it's on a Y for me. I'm sure this for a lot of you guys it'll be on a like or the okay, but it really summarizes this album. Let's keep going. Now, this is the talk of the town right here, the Peanuts the Elephant record. I actually don't think Wayne himself was maybe that terrible. I think the beat is bad. It's unnecessary. It could have been okay with a better beat. And the sampling of the elephant, I'll be honest with you, it was unnecessarily grab an elephant from the zoo and drag it to the studio to make this record and be featured on this track, okay? Justice for the elephant. This is a good example again on a project of why. Why is this here, right? Another one on a why, Highland Holiday. This is Disney type sampling, risks that Lil Wayne used to take back in the day that would work. It's not a Disney sample, but it sounds like it. But today they don't work. Things that would have been on kind of like that Rebirth era, it just doesn't work. But let me get to one record that I think I did love, right? This for me felt like the easiest listen on the album. It fits what I think Wayne wants to do, and the beat is lovely. I like just kind of sort of how, even though he doesn't have to go too much in depth, this still fits for Wayne. Doesn't seem like he's trying to go off the rails. Doesn't seem like he's trying to sound 22. Doesn't seem like he's attempting to do what he did before, but it's falling flat. It just works. Now, here's some other records that I like, and I think I found a similarity between these three records, right? Let's go back on the list. Sharks, The Days, Locust Theme, and Being Myself. One thing I noticed here on some of these records, the features are really a breath of fresh air. For example, on Snakes, I appreciate Big Sean's approach to the record. I don't think he's better than Wayne in the lines per se, but he just sounds pretty good, pretty structured. Jelly Roll's hook eventually grew on me. But even on records like The Days, Being Myself, he tries to bring depth, some depth, right? The sounds, they're sonically good. They sound pretty structured, like at least some kind of A&R is involved in these. And I don't find it shocking. I don't think it's coincidence that these records here, Sharks, The Days, Loki's Theme, Being Myself, are records that I liked. I think what would make me love them is if it felt like Wayne was fully committed to the bit. On some of these records, I don't think so. And I think that's because, again, his sort of desire to always want to lean on punchlines kind of cheapen these records sometimes. And then we go to some of these records like that are okay. The King Carter intro is just an intro. The Welcome to the Carter is the next record. And I remember the Carter 2 series, Carter 2, Carter 3. These are records, like Fly In, Fly Out. These are records where Wayne will kind of spaz out. Kind of feels like he doesn't have the same grip to it. A lot of y'all say it's kind of feeling like Jordan on the Wizards. That's okay. Flex Up, again, these are okay records. It leans into the typical stuff. It can slide. Rari's sonically okay. Sun is on it. So that's pretty cool, right? The okay records are the okay records. They aren't cringy, right? That's what I got out of that. But again, going more into these Y records, If I play the guitar, it sounds like another one that, again, during your rebirth days, I don't know what juice Wayne had at the time. It just would have worked. Another one I want to point out that's really a bit disheartening is Moolah Coming In. And that one sounds like a distorted attempt at what's popular on like the Cardi Destroy Lonely side of town. It's even more disappointing because Wayne, you don't need to do that. I know you inspired a lot of these guys, but not sure where that's coming from. The Mariah record, some of you may like it, but for me, it's a lot. Where's that mesh coming from? Kind of feels like Wyclef himself sounds good, it sounds okay, it beats okay, but where did that come from? That's why I do a lot. Like I do a why. Like why is this here? If I can't feel, and it's an overarching. It's a thing here, right? What's the themes to this project? Wayne's never really been too much of that guy, but it's more and more obvious on the later Carter series. I don't get it, right? And maybe that's why Wayne used to be this great mixtape guy, which didn't require themes. It just required you being a great punchline rapper and things like that, and flexing on other beats and kind of and one type of basketball and people being impressed. And he was the best at that. But even on records like Hip Hop, where Big X the Plug stands out, I find that concerning that Big X the Plug is the one. I know he's newer, he's younger, so it's more breath of fresh air. But I find that concerning that he's standing out over Wayne, who in that record had lines like squish, squish, squish. It just, again, attempts at things that would have worked before, but I just don't think you have much of the juice. That's all I really have for this project. I gotta be as honest as possible. It doesn't change that Wayne is a legend and NTC is still a legend. It is what it is. But this is just how I feel about this project, and that's my HQ theory. Okay.